Today we're looking at a very easy to use and clean looking app that can be used to trigger your backing tracks live.
What's my age again? Guitar riff, ready, go.
And it's also capable of outputting MIDI to control your gear in time with your backing tracks as well. In some of my older videos, I used to use an app called SoundQ, which is a really nice and easy to use app. And as some of you have pointed out, they actually deleted it from the App Store. So I found one that is very similar. It's called Easy Performer, and that's what we're checking out today. And with my older band, this is actually how we used to trigger our backing tracks. We had our iPad by our drummer, and he just used to use SoundQ in this case and would trigger the tracks that way. Easy Performer is very similar. It's a very clean looking interface and a nice easy way to organize your backing tracks. And it's a lot easier to navigate or use something like this instead of something like the music app on your iPhone or tablet or something like that. And FYI, this is available in the Apple Store as well as the Google Play Store. So it's not only just for Apple and iPad. I will be demoing this on the iPad, but you are able to do this on the phone as well. It might have a little bit less features, but also very nice that you can run it on your phone. I found this app on my own. I paid for it. There's not sponsored or anything like that. I just figured it was something that you guys could be interested in checking out. This is not a video about creating backing tracks. If that's what you're interested in, check out this video right here. This video is for if you have your backing tracks ready and you're looking for an app that you can use to trigger them live. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and let's go ahead and get started. So this is how the app will look when you first load it up. FYI, you can download it for free, and then there is a pro version that you can buy, but you can mess around with it for free. So the first step to do is click Edit up here. Everything's going to turn blue, and then what you can do is you can click on one of the boxes to start adding in files. So you're going to click on Add File. You can see I've already imported some of them, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click Import File, so you're going to get these files onto the app. And you can load this from your Files folder, from a website like Dropbox or Google Drive, and you can also import it from Music, which is what I'm going to do because I have a bunch of our backing tracks in our Music folder. So we have a ton of backing tracks in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and choose some of these. So let's choose Jenny, 500 Miles, 9 to 5. I'm just going to pick a bunch of different random backing tracks to put in here because you can import multiple ones all at once. Once I've chosen my tracks, I'm going to hit Done. It'll take a second to import those, but then you will see that they have now shown up. So now I can start assigning these tracks to some of these pads. So on the first one, I'm going to put 500 Miles. Then I'm going to click the second one. I'm going to put in Jenny. Next one, I'm going to click the third one, Add File. Let's put in 9 to 5, so on and so forth. See how easy this is? And it gives you this nice, clean looking interface. So now I've got 7 different songs uploaded here. When I'm done importing the songs, I can click Edit, and now I can start playing the songs. But first, let me show you that you can click this button down here. All the pads turn red, and this is a very easy way to rearrange your set. So I can either click like 500 Miles, and if I want to move that to the 16th spot, I would just click 16. Tap the song that you want to move, and then tap where you want it to go. Super easy. You also can just click and drag and move it around into a different order. Nice and simple. When I'm done rearranging, I can click that same button, and now I can start playing the tracks if I would like. So down here is all of your controls. So I could click the song that I want to start, and it'll start playing.
What's my age again? Guitar riff, ready, go.
I can use this right here to skip to a different part in the song if I would like to.
Bridge, go.
And I can also pause the track. And this button right here will fade out the track. I actually use this when I'm running sound for like a wedding ceremony. I use this app, and when they walk down the aisle, I use that to do a nice clean fade out before starting the next song. This marker tab is interesting, so I can go to somewhere in the song and push this marker button, and it will create a marker at that point. So now whenever I'm further ahead in the song, I can push play, and it'll go back to that spot. I don't think I'm personally going to use that, but the option is there. You can click this icon up here if you want to remove the played songs tab. So you can see that it says What's My Age Again has been played. If I click it, it will clear all of those tags. If you have a ton of songs, it can be really helpful to be able to search for a song. So if you have a ton of backing tracks like we do, this search feature is really nice. If I do need to edit some of these a little bit further, I can click Edit, click on one of the songs, so I can rename it. The file has this BKG at the end, but let's say I don't want that. I just want the name of it. I can do that. I can also click Empty Pad if I want to delete it, and it does give you this Are You Sure message, which is nice. I also can trim the track, which is really helpful if your songs have like 30 seconds of silence at the end if you exported it wrong. So I could go in here, this one looks fine, but I could go here, move it just slightly over, and then say Set End, and it will end right here. which is very cool. This color tab down here, you can click something like the red tab, and then you can see there's this little red dot up in the upper right. If you need to do some sort of markers, that might be helpful. And you can also adjust the volume of that individual track. So if one of your tracks is too loud, you'll be able to turn it down here. Something else that's really cool is you can save different set lists by going up here, and let's do save as set list. So you can see I've already saved another one. Let's just save this one as YouTube. And now this set list has been saved. Going to set list again, I can also empty all the pads if I just want to start all over. But then I'm going to go back to load, click on YouTube, and it has reloaded everything that I saved. But you can see that I have another set list here saved. This is for my original music that I do. I use this as kind of just like a backup. So if something goes wrong during the show, I have this little interlude that I can play.
We are now experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Or just little sound bites that I can do during the show.
We now return to our regular scheduled program. Don't be a douche.
Fun stuff. Couple of settings that you can do in order to make this work a little bit more like you want to. Click up here in the upper left. There is the MIDI plugin, which I will show you. That does cost extra if you do want to do it, but I bought it. You can set it to double tap in order to start a song. So if you don't want to accidentally bump it or something like that, it's up to you if you want that on or not. You do have autoplay on or off. If autoplay is on, when a song's over, it's automatically going to start the next one. I do wish there was a way to just go in here and like edit one of the songs and say, when the song is over, jump to the next one or wait. I wish it was more customizable, but the workaround is that you could just put in a blank track. Let's say you wanted to play through these two songs and then wanted to wait until the next song started. You would just put like a minute of silence or something into this third slot. And then when you're ready, you would click to start the next song. A couple of other ones are pretty self-explanatory, but you can turn off that locator if you don't want that on, and you can disable a volume slider if you want as well. Turning on these bigger colors and pads and the bigger font is nice. Just in general, it just looks nicer. You can say how you want it to look when it has played a track, which is pretty cool. And you can also set a crossfade between the tracks, which I'm personally not going to do. But one of the really cool things that you can do is you can export everything that you have in this app. You can save all of this stuff right here, and you can export it, and then you can import it at another time. So it's basically a backup, or if you need to send it to another musician, that's incredibly helpful. But yeah, super clean interface. Very nice that you can save different set lists. That's very, very cool. And just a very easy way to organize your backing tracks. So pretty simple to use interface with a really clean setup. Just keep in mind, you cannot do multi-tracking with this app. If you're not familiar with multi-tracking, that's where you can send audio out either USB-C or the Lightning connection, and you can send multiple different stems at once. So you could have like bass, keys, click, cues, strings. You could have each of those on their own separate channels and separate audio. But with this app, you have to use the single file method where you have one file and you pan the click to the left and the tracks to the right, or vice versa. And you use a cable like this in order to separate them. I have a video going over the difference between the single file method and the multi-tracking method if you want to find out more details, so you can make the decision of which one works right for you. And I show you how to set those up as well. If you are looking for multi-tracking, check out the apps Stage Tracks 3 and MultiTracker. I have reviews on both of those on my channel. An added bonus to this app is that you are able to output MIDI to control some of your MIDI gear, which is really nice. If you play to backing tracks, you can have your pedals change with the music, and you don't even have to worry about touching your pedals. So this is what I'm trying to do. I push play on a song in Easy Performer, and it sends MIDI messages to change the patches on my HX Stomp, and it controls it without me needing to touch it. Really helpful if you play to backing tracks. If you don't understand MIDI programming, I do recommend that you watch my beginners video where I go over these topics so you'll understand what we are about to do. So in order to configure the MIDI, click Edit, click the song that you want to add MIDI to, and click Configure MIDI. Now, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the right channel. So I'm going to set this to channel 4 because my HX Stomp reads MIDI on channel 4. And what you're going to do is you're going to play the song. And as it's playing, you're going to click these buttons down here to either send a program change at that point in the song, a control change, or a MIDI note command. So first of all, actually, I'm going to put a program change here right at the beginning. So I'm just going to click program change. You can see it put that right there. And now as the song is playing, I'm going to click control change at the moments that I want a control change to happen.
Wicked game. All in, ready, go.
And I'll even do this MIDI note at the very end, even though the HX Stomp doesn't respond to MIDI notes. So now you can see that I have these types of commands at these points in the song. In order to edit it, just click it, So on this first one, I want to send program change 120 because I want to load that patch on my HX Stomp right as the song starts. Something you do have to do is you can't set it to 0000, so set it just like a few milliseconds after the song starts. But now this next command, which you can see happens at about 4 seconds into the song, if I want to edit when that was, I can use this slider or I can type it in up here as well, but I'm happy where it's at. But I'm going to set this to send control change 51 at a value of 127 at that moment. And you can also click this button over here to test it to make sure that it is working. This next one over here at about 6 seconds, I'm going to set that one to send control change 50. And I actually don't think that my HX Stomp needs the value command changed, but your gear might, so just keep that in mind. This next one at about 8 seconds, I'm going to send control change 49. And then the MIDI note right here, again, my HX Stomp doesn't respond to MIDI notes, but if you have gear that does respond to it, this is where you would assign it. The only thing is you can't type in the note that you want. You basically just have to scroll left and right. Hopefully they update that at some point. And now you can see what happens when I push play on the song Wicked Game. First thing it's going to do is going to load a new patch, and then you'll see it'll change the buttons on my HX Stomp right when I programmed them to.
Wicked game. All in, ready, go.
I don't have to pedal dance at all. Pretty sweet. If you do want to see a video on how to program your HX Stomp with MIDI, I do have a video going over that. And I do have this connected via this WIDI master right here. That is a way to connect to your MIDI gear wirelessly or over Bluetooth, which I also have a video on, which is pretty cool. It also has the capability of doing lyrics. I didn't go over it. They have a video on their YouTube channel that I found that shows you how to set that up. I think the lyrics are a little limiting. I mean, watch it, see if it works right for you. But if you really need lyrics, I would look into Stage Tracks 3 instead. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. I try to review multiple things so you guys can make the decision that's right for you. To me, I see this app as more like you have an original band or, you're playing an hour set and you just set your set list together. You can organize it really quickly on the fly. It's just very easy for like a drummer to trigger the tracks. But again, I'm just showing you how this works, giving you the options, and you can make the decision that works best for you. The main things I'd like to see in future firmware updates with this is the ability to determine after a song is done, do you want it to wait or start the next cue instead of just all autoplay or all autoplay off. And since it has MIDI, it'd be cool if you could send MIDI to it to trigger certain scenes or something like that with like a MIDI controller. Hopefully those come in a future firmware update. As of time of shooting, the price looks like it's about $26 for the app, and then to add that MIDI plugin is another $20. It's a bit pricey, but at the same time, you pay for it once. It's not a subscription model, which is awesome. And in the research that I did for this video, the other apps that I found that can do this, one is like $160, and another one was asking for like $450, which is ridiculous. So it's definitely not that bad of a price in my opinion. And I'll have links down below if you want to check this out for yourself if you decide this is right for you and your needs. If you guys found the video helpful, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. It does help support the channel and feed the YouTube algorithm gods, and I would appreciate it. Also consider subscribing if you want to see more backing tracks, tips, tutorials, apps, and stuff like that in the future. I have a video going over why I am pro backing tracks if you want to check that out. And also another video where I go over 10 tips if you use backing tracks live. You can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ScottYuleMusic. If you have any other cool gear or apps you want me to check out, please leave them as a comment down below. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.